Nikon has 3 APS-C cameras and they're all identical inside. Just like if you cut me open, did an autopsy, you might find that the gentleman next to me, who also died by the same murderer, we're the same inside. He might be more beautiful outside and he might have a bigger... Point is, Nikon has an interesting lineup, and due to the Z50's flip down screen making it completely unusable, you have 2 options. Either you go with the ZFC or the Z30. Which is better for vlogging? The Z30 was designed for vlogging. But is it better? I doubt it. Maybe.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Can you tell the difference? One of you is the Nikon ZFC with the 16-50. Ah, shit. That really makes it obvious. The other is the Z30 with the 12-28. Which one, huh? Okay, that could have been more dramatic. That's what we have. We have identical settings on both. We're in standard profile. Everything is the same. Autofocus speed, you name it, stabilization. Today we just discuss ZFC versus Z30 plus the 16-50 versus the 12-28. Which is the better vlogging lens? Just because this is wider doesn't necessarily make it better, does it? No. So I bought the Nikon Z30 on an Amazon warehouse deal. I'm borrowing the 12-28 from Aiden Camera, considering buying it, depending on what the results are of this video. If this lens is usable, maybe I pass on this. Oh, I forgot the damn... I was going to bring another lens. Oh, piece of shit. So not only are we talking about ZFC versus the Z30, we're also talking about the 16-50 versus the 12-28. So, what I've noticed, Nikon's only flaw, even though the specs are very minimal, there's not a lot in here, the stabilization is so bad that I want to cry. So every video you've ever seen, I've released probably 4 of them on the Z30. They've all been in sport mode, and some of them have had digital stab. Just seeing if I could make that better. It wasn't. And digital stab on this freak of a lens is the worst thing ever. I can't believe I ruined that video. So now, what we're trying is not sport mode, no digital, just regular. Are we somewhat doable? We're just handheld, and I did bring a tripod just to show you. If I was vlogging on this thing, I would extend it out there. It's not very wide. Stab. It's not good. Every little wiggle. It's only lens stab versus 12-28. In theory, this should be more stable because it's wider. Usually that's a benefit to mankind, but is it? Did I even check the audio levels? They could be good. I wish the lighting wasn't so terrible. Oh. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. So, here's the thing. You would think, on paper, the Z30 designed for vlogging, it's only 40 grams lighter, which is somewhat noticeable, I guess, to little kids that lift up Fruit Loops to their mouth. But the thing I thought was a deal breaker to this is there's no custom modes in video. It's the vintage dials. They're cute. Look at the cuteness. I want both of you to just look at each other. Wow. So minimalistic. The Z30 versus vintage Fuji Touch. Wow. All these dials. Fun times. I have no idea if that's focusing on that. And up here you got almost nothing. Cool times. But after using this camera for a few weeks, I've realized there's really no need for the custom menus. I thought there's no way, like, you want to switch from HD 120 frames to 4K 24p, but it's so easy to do that in the intelligent quick menu. The I button. Just boom, right in there, boom, switch, boom. You're done. So, that actually opens up the Nikon ZF as being a potential usable camera with no custom modes needed. Wow. So hot damn, I am debating as the leaves comb my hair. Which one do I keep? Because this was a gift of the gods from Steinbeck, unexpected completely. The ZFC, and I was like, wow, it was so fun to see, and the kit lens, so happy to have it. Thank you, brother. And so I'm debating, like, I don't need two, obviously. Which one's better? This thing is slightly lighter. You can do custom modes. You probably don't need it. You can't customize a damn button on there. And the advantage of this one, you actually have a exposure comp dial. So I find Nikon overexposes quite badly, so we're always at minus 0.7. Decent little image. So I have a little dial. The weird thing is, like this one, you just hold a button and turn a dial, not a huge deal, and you get to see it on screen. Is it on there now? No. But like while you're doing it, it's on there, and that's nice. Whereas that one, you kind of have to peek. Is it there? Oh yeah, it's there. There's no lock on it. That's the only advantage to the ZFC, I think. I don't know why I stopped at this construction area for so long. The worst audio. I'm just so used to having the worst audio in the world. And so I'm just like, yeah, I might as well just stand right next to that buzzing saw noise. Oh, I suck. So I'm thinking a lot of people might really prefer having this vintage look. You get the dials for photography, and you have a viewfinder, which this one doesn't have. So it's like all around, this is actually the better camera. And if you were to get into wildlife, somehow you could actually use this. And then you have a viewfinder, you get your 100 to 400 maybe, full frame lens, ridiculous. And then you're doing HD 120, oh my God. Unbelievable, Nicky. And just a little side rant on Nikon's name, whether it's Nikon, 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 no one cares. Thanks for leaving the useless comments down below. This guy is just Nikon. You're a fucking elf. No one cares, man. It's like we all pronounce things different. Potato, potato. I've never actually heard someone say, do you have any potatoes? Do you have a baked potato? I would kick him right in the shins. Oh boy, I am aggressive. Oh, that meat eating has kicked in. Oh boy. It's kind of the better camera, isn't it? Now, the question is, what's the better lens? Well, so far, if you're just vlogging handheld, which did you prefer? Like wide, it's goofy, but it's fun. And if it's more stable in this non-sport mode for some reason, it could be, versus a little more punched in look, I don't mind it, especially if you're on a tripod. Dare we dream that someday. But the zoom range also, like this is 12 to 28. So you're thinking this is an 18 to 42. And that is a 24 to 75. Much more of a range. Same Tonys, same app, nope, not Tonys. 3.5 to 6.3 on that one. This one's 3.5 to 5.6. You get like a half a stop advantage on this one. This kit lens also feels lighter. So like technically this might be the lighter setup. Obviously the kit lens on the Z30 would be super light. Oh, you could debate that one. But 40 grams is not a ton of noticeable weight. It's already so light, you're not gonna feel it. That's like a Rode Video Micro. That's roughly what that weighs. You would feel it. It would hurt your elbows eventually. You would get tinnitus and you'd need surgery, but for the most part, you suck. The only real crappy thing about the ZFC is it has no grip whatsoever. It's just flat. You can get obviously like a bottom bracket and then an extra grip. There's adding weight. Whereas this one has like a pretty nice grip, except that thing sticking out into your hand. But for a small, tiny grip, it's actually quite ergonomically friendly. Not bad. Okay, let me show you the difference between the zoom ranges. We'll put it on a tripod and see. I've noticed something on both these lenses once you zoom in. A bit of a cripple hammer on that one. Little Nikon Mimic Monkey screwing with the innards. Here's a useless shot of branches. They're snowy green. Testing the macro capabilities. Seems like I'm almost touching that thing. It looks like it's in focus here. I can't tell. No, it doesn't. About there. That's some nice macro there. And then you zoom in. Oh my God. Do we still have macro abilities? It's a nice screen, I tell you. Not bad. Not bad. Oh, this is the Z30 with the 12 to 28. So that's the kind of shot you can get here. Snow mist versus the Nikon ZFC kit lens. That's not looking in focus at all. We're at 16 mil right now. And another thing I noticed, the mic jack's at the very bottom on this one. I think I might prefer that to the top. So let's zoom on into 50. Oh, so dramatic. Now what kind of macro do we get? Feels like it's worse macro, maybe. We're at 50, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't look in focus. I think the woman just came home, her neighbor, uh-oh. Okay, we're on the Nikon Z30 with the ultra wide 12 to 28. It really is annoying not having the grip. I cannot even fathom holding a camera like this. Unfreaking believable, but it looks so cool. Imagine having that attached to you and you're like, I'm a photographer. What do you do? You're a millionaire? You write books? It's just a hobby for me. So, tell me if you can see. We're gonna zoom. So this is 12 to 28. There's a squirrel running around. There you go, little buddy. I'm gonna zoom. Tell me if you notice the big difference. Not in the zoom length, obviously. Something changes. Wrong way. Do you see it? I have noticed that both of these lenses, when zoomed in, lose all their contrast. It's just gone. So like you actually have to change your grade between zooms. It's a little weird. So this is the kind of compression you can get. 42 mil full frame, roughly. Tony like 97. That's what you can expect on this ultra wide. Still some compression, not much at is. So let's switch to the Z50. God, I'll leave. And as usual, I switch cameras. Clouds disappear. Oh, it's coming back. So now we're on the ZFC with the 16 to 50. So at 16, doing a side-by-side with Loser Boy, ultra wide. Oh, he's so cool. I'm a little further back from the camera. Had to adjust the angle down a bit. But there you get that, side-by-side. And then if we zoom in, tell me if you notice the difference. Again. Wow. You really got to get back there. So, like, I'm pretty sure you lose all your contrast on this one, too. Oh, boy, that makes for some difficult scenarios. But the compression might be real. You could get potential tones. And if the sun blessed our heart, no, it's not going to. Side by side with 42 milliquiv. This is 75, almost portrait length. You could be in a movie. I really wish I brought that other lens. I was going to do something fun, but we have nothing. All right, what I'm going to do is go home, watch this footage, and then tell you which I think is the better buy. Which camera and which lens if you're vlogging, doing YouTube stuff, and we will film it on the lens that I bought. Oh, dare we dream that. But this grip, so much better. My God. It's just a funner camera. Wow, they are fighting. They are fighting hard. The ton. There's none. The sun. Nikon adjusts to exposure so well. I love you, Nikon. You could do no wrong. I'll leave. Okay, so I have noticed some things. They both looked good. pretty decent. I feel like the 12 to 28 has a little more contrast, doesn't it, than this kit lens. Even though this has kit lens specs, it's not. It's better. This is also a power zoom, whereas that's an actual zoom, but the rings on that thing are so thin, it's tough to know what you're doing. And it collapses weird. So there's that. I think I prefer this 12 to 28 in all areas because your handheld, boom, it's a little heavier, but not much. Here's the weights. Everything, all 4 combos. This camera with this lens, this camera with that lens, and vice versa. Not much difference. I do feel like this combo right here is better than the ZFC. There's something about the ZFC, I don't know, man, it missed focus a couple times. It shouldn't have. The colors look different, but I was facing different. I should have switched hands at some point so you could see this side of the sun versus that side. Let's just put this lens on there and then the secret lens. So we are now on the 12 to 28, and that's what that looks like. This thing, when you collapse it, it's weird. It's out here, and if you have a filter on it, your hands are so tiny, like it barely, it's like pinching your fingers to get it shut. It's so thin. Does that matter? Not really. Focus, all the little, it's so tiny, it's like zooming and manually focusing is awkward. I don't think you'd ever do it. Don't ever do it. And we did have a Black Pro mist on this and a Freewell mist on that. So whatever. Similar. Okay, now let's switch to the lens I bought with the Z30. Dare we dream this? My God. My God. We're on the cheapest setup possible, under 1,000 Canadian. Still sounds really pricey when you say it out loud, but my goodness gracious. I'll tell you what it is in a second. I just noticed that this battery door barely comes off with this little Felcam clip, and when it's on the tripod, I can't actually open the door fully to get the memory card out. So I have to actually take it off the tripod. Slight annoyance. Nikon Z30 Nikkor 40mm Tony 2. Cheap little budget 3D pop. We might have it. There might be. It's a low element count. I also have the 28 2.8 in my cart, waiting for that to drop hard because it's not even close to a good deal. It was like $20 off. Give me a break. Fantastic. Nikon, you are the best. I can't wait till you have a Sony a7S IV killer. Boom. Video centric. I'm all in. I'm all ears. Beautiful. So if it's me, I'm going Nikon Z30 with the 12 to 28. You're done. Then you get this lens potentially. What more could you ask? So light. And the stab was so much better turning sport mode off. I hate you all so much. Every one of you Nikkor freaks was like, oh darn, sport mode on, bro, for vlogging. What the hell does that even mean? I'm not playing tennis while I vlog. It was so much better with nothing. It's actually somewhat usable now. Totally purchasing that lens when I go bring it back to Aiden Camera. I'm giving them money and taking it with me. I'll tell you that much. I'm gonna leave. What do you think? Who won in your eyes? Come on now. Z30, 12 to 28. Don't talk nonsense. I'll leave. Subscribing for more videos. I'll see you next one. 42. Ow. The ton.